Hey guys, welcome back to Lovin Dubai show. You might know our next guest by her Instagram handle, My Fash Diary. She is a legit OG Dubai blogger. She's also a DJ with skills who has opened for the likes of Dua Lipa, Lana Del Rey, and at Lewis Hamilton's championship party at F1. Welcome to the show, Tala Saman. Thank you so much for joining us.
How are you?
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Honestly, you are Instagram's and Dubai's biggest bombshell. We love following you, and I think we've been following you for the longest time.
Thank you.
So your fashion game, so on point. Is it you or do you have a stylist?
No, I style myself. I went to fashion school. Always thought I was gonna end up in the fashion industry full time.
Where are you buying online? Are you going to the stores? Because guys, if you follow Tala, like her looks are goals. Like they're seriously influential. So where do you get your clothes from?
I probably shop 95% of my closet online, and then the 5% when I travel.
Interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you have like a mix of different.
Yeah, I find online shopping so efficient.
Your go-to brands.
I shop on Revolve a lot, which is a multi-brand online store. Yeah.
And they've just come to the UAE.
Yeah.
So I came to the UAE about 10 years ago and I was in Abu Dhabi, then I moved to Dubai. And you were, I think, one of the first people I became aware of. I don't even remember if I had Instagram, but I must have had Instagram and I was following you way back when.
I love that.
And you are also legitimately one of the first Dubai bloggers. How did that start?
I know, I only say this now because it's such an oversaturated industry. I started when I was at uni. I was at LCF, London College of Fashion, and blogs just kind of started. Brian Boy was, I don't know if you guys know Brian Boy, but he was blogging from the US. And I just got on that bandwagon and I started off just blogging, and it was friends that were reading the site. And eventually just, I guess, Facebook times, it just, friends were sharing it with other friends. And yeah, the site would crash because I guess it didn't, it couldn't take a bunch of people going on at the same time. It was before Instagram's time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I started. And, at the beginning, we were like 5 bloggers here in Dubai, pretty much for the first 3 years. And now it's a whole industry.
Now people are moving here to blog.
Honestly, and your blog, initially, did it make money or how, did you have a job and was this something you did on the side or did you dedicate your full time to it?
So I started it when I was a student at uni. So the first 3 years of my blog I was a student. And to be honest, no, gifting was a big deal. Like if you got gifted, it was like, oh my God, that's so special. But my first meeting was with Procter & Gamble and probably a year after I started. And honestly, the meeting was pretty much just to understand what a blog was and how they could kind of be a part of it. But even at the beginning, it was, now we call that barters, right? Like just getting free product in return for content. But it wasn't till I graduated, so I ended up getting poached for a job as a fashion editor, and I did that once I graduated from university. It wasn't until, I guess 4 years in where people were getting money.
And why do you think your blog blew up? Why do you think your website crashed? Because crashing a website is not an easy thing. It rarely happens now for anything. Maybe when Coldplay came to Expo, that was once.
To be fair, it was before Instagram's time. So people had more time to spend time on Twitter was there, Facebook was there, but there wasn't really visual content that people could look at. And I think I was just lucky that I started at an early time when, and I guess I was super authentic, and that's what I think we kind of lost. And I think people are getting back to that authenticity of sharing things that you genuinely like, that you recommend versus brands pushing product on you and you having to blog about it or post about it because you're getting paid to.
Okay, so from all of us, our perspectives, it looks like the dream job, just looking so stunning on Instagram and travel and fashion, glam. What's the most challenging part of all of it for you?
That's what we have to show, right? Because no one really wants to see the boring part of it. But so Yeah.
But tell us like what the challenges like you face, like, you know, like do you have creative blocks where where a brand approaches you, like we want to promote this and you just don't know how to or how to go about it?
Listen, the reason I even started the blog was I would genuinely discover things and want to share. I just have that in me. So I think I don't really go and write down like, oh my God, I'm going to post about these things that week. I genuinely feature things that I discover, learn. I kind of feel like that whole thing is like an online community, right? Like I'm learning from people, I'm sharing things I learn from experts that I get to meet within events or
Interesting. Simran said it is like a dream job, and what we were talking about before, one of the parts of the conversation that we had was that a lot of people now want to become influencers, so they don't want to go down a traditional route of like doctor, lawyer, engineer. Sorry, mom. They want to do influencing. Do you have advice, therefore, what are the hardships, and do you have advice for wannabe influencers?
Well, first of all, because I know you guys were talking about the Tracy Harmouche. Did you guys talk about it? Yeah, but I saw it on the page yesterday. I think people always think that is what the industry is when it really isn't. These are like the highs. These are like people that have worked for so many years and have built such a strong following. The majority are people that are trying to build that following. And if you're actually doing it authentically and organically, that takes time, and it's, it doesn't equal money. You know, a lot of time, like you have to do this for so long till you start getting paid stuff. So, I guess do it for the right reasons. And I find that nowadays influencers are people that are experts in their fields. So it's, I feel like a music producer is an influencer, or like a doctor can be an influencer. And I think that's the route that
That's so true. I think if you know how to curate content, anyone can basically step into, the influencer world. But is it intimidating for you, like seeing how, it's such a fast moving game, like, sometimes reels pick up and TikToks pick up, like a new trend, this, that. Is it like for you, do you feel like you need to be on this, or you do you?
I know it's so overwhelming. You know what? I have to, I guess, TikTok, I felt like it took me so long to get on it because I was just trying to see if it was relevant to my viewers, my community, and if it was something that, made sense for me content-wise. And yeah, that's the thing. You never know what the next year would bring. Like, I think when I first started my blog, I definitely didn't know that, first of all, Instagram was going to launch or blow up, or everything was going to move there, People don't read blogs anymore. Like, people have less time on their hands, and people just want to digest quick content. And yeah.
I want to jump into your DJing just a little bit, because you mentioned some really cool gigs that you've had. When did that start, and what is Dua Lipa like in person? I'm like the biggest fan.
So I started in 2015, and I started a year ago taking classes. There was a sound academy here, and I kind of did it on the down low because I was pure fashion at that point, and I just felt like it would be weird to tell anyone that I was taking DJing classes. I had a lot of friends in the music industry, and I just wanted to give it a go. And a year later, long story short, an agent suggested that why don't you start DJing for brands that you were working with anyways, because you were going to these events. Why don't you start playing at these events? And that's how I started, and realized that, I do enjoy it, and I want to do more of that. That's kind of how it started. And Dua Lipa, I didn't get to meet her personally. She was backstage, but I don't know, I get so awkward.
You didn't meet her?
Like, I saw her, I was prepping while she was around. She won a Brit Award the day before, and yeah, she came straight to Abu Dhabi, and she was rehearsing, so I just didn't want to go and fangirl and go up to her and say hi.
I'd watch from a distance, maybe take a cheeky pic, but I couldn't go up,
I get that.
But that was good enough. I love her.
But that's so gutsy that, you had friends in the industry, you wanted to get into it, so you took classes, and then you jumped right into that too, not the, chilled out gigs, but the major ones.
that took, honestly speaking, that took time. That took time till, I think, 3 years into me DJing, I got the Dua Lipa, and that was one of the biggest things that I did. And over time, I did Lana Del Rey F1, I think 2 years ago. But it took time. I know these are the ones that I'll push.
And Lewis Hamilton championship party. What's the celeb scene like there at these parties?
Wild. Like I was like, what? These people are in Abu Dhabi?
You need to send us the pics.
Yeah, they're fun.
Okay.
But I love it, you know, getting to play for a brand, and I get to play for brands that I've always admired, and yeah, getting to do the music aspect, which is the more creative aspect, and working with them on.
Do you have a go-to DJ move, like when you're on the deck?
No, definitely not.
No? Most DJs have like a signature move.
I don't.
I always, because our job is sometimes to go around and we're taking events, and then I always feel like I'm putting the DJ under pressure if I have to take a video, because they have to be like,
oh, yeah, I know. Like, everyone's like, do a move. I'm like, what move?
It's tricky. So where does your passion really lie in future? Are you looking more music or continuing the blogging route?
So you know what? For the longest time, I was trying to find that balance. And I always say that I feel like I finally got that balance a year and a half ago. I felt like it was always either or. And I hated choosing either or, because I love creating content, but I never loved the part of brands pushing content on me. I just felt like the way I built that following was based on me sharing things I genuinely liked. Like I definitely buy more than 50% of what I actually post. And I felt like having music as a like side hustle or side career made it a little easier for me to be more genuine, because I didn't have to just do that full time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Before you...
No! I need to ask her this. Like, come on, like fashion advice. Like, what are your go-to fashion tips for like everyone watching and wanting to not get into the fashion world, but like just wanting good fashion tips?
You know what? Years ago, I would have been like, the trends this season are X, Y, Z. But now I'm like, you know what? But now I'm like, you know what? Wear what you feel good in. Yeah. Like,
no, we're not going to accept that from like the biggest fashion bloggers in Dubai. Like Stealth Wealth, or, you know, what is in, or what are some like go-to ways to accessorize you can't go wrong with? Any of those tips?
Honestly, right now I'm obsessed with blazers. I've been obsessed with them, so I have a whole closet of just blazers, suits, and I'm obsessed with them because I feel like you can pair them up and you can wear them together. You can wear them day or night, or you can wear a blazer and jeans or denim cutoffs. But I don't have, like, I just...
Casey? Blazers.
You know, I'm thinking I have got 2 in my cupboard. I haven't worn them in a while. Tomorrow blazers. But let's rock a blazer tomorrow.
Honestly, I'm over these like following a trend just because it's in. Wear what looks good on you, what you feel good in. Yeah.
No, you know, that kind of advice doesn't resonate with me.
No, because you're going to look back.
I feel good in Crocs, but do I look good in Crocs?
But you're going to look back 5 years later or 8 years later, and you're going to be like, why did I wear that? It didn't even look good on me. It was just trendy at that time. So now I'm like, I'm going to wear what looks good on me.
I wanted to ask, speaking of following trends, a lot of people, to grow their profile, you mentioned people become more authentic. So people will share their relationship traumas or their work woes or whatever is going on in their life with their family, and because that's authentic and therefore it drives engagement. Do you make a personal decision to keep your personal life private?
Yeah, so that's something I avoid, and I have nothing against anyone that does it. I think the great thing is people will always relate to anything when you're being authentic, but I've kind of stuck to my blog started off being fashion, beauty, travel, and food, and that's kind of what I still, it's just things that the
people want to know.
You know what? I feel like the more you let people know, the more they think that they can give their opinions and give their take, and I choose to keep that private.
So true.
Well, that's really interesting, because I was going to finish off by asking, now if you have more questions, feel free, but finish off by asking 3 tips for, you know, growing a brand. And I'm assuming one would be if you want to keep your private, but for 3 tips to grow a brand online, what would they be?
I mean, be authentic. That's something that I've always learned. You know, a lot of people are like, oh my God, what do my readers want to see, or what do people want to see from me? But I'm like, no, because if you are looking at this in the long run, like, be yourself, and that's why people follow you. And I guess like be classy, whatever that means to anyone. And and you said the third one.
Okay, sorry, we're just gonna ask you a couple more tips because I feel like you know everything about this industry. So can we just get a couple of travel and beauty tips?
Travel and beauty tips.
Or hacks.
Okay. Travel, packing cubes saved my life this summer. I don't know if you guys, you buy them on Amazon and they're literally little bags that you stuff things in. First of all, it organizes your entire suitcase, but then it compresses everything so you fit a lot more in. So that is one. And second, because I lost my bag all summer last year, so I learned a few tips with traveling is always have an air tag in every bag. And do not get a black bag because it will be hard to find.
Black bag, no
yeah,
black bags.
Because honestly, I think I lost my bag for 3 weeks because it was black and it's the hardest thing for airport staff to find.
Black
and
bags.
I learned that. Yeah, because
everyone there's so many of them.
Yeah, because everyone has a black bag.
I picked up someone else's bag and brought it from New York to South Carolina once.
You're kidding.
Sorry.
You never said this before. Every time we spoke about traveling, like a billion times. Never had you ever said
that is actually my biggest nightmare.
So sorry.
Someone taking your luggage.
Yeah, and taking it to another state.
I went to a hotel in New York, didn't open it because I had another bag. And then got down to my next destination and there I was with a whole big suitcase that wasn't mine. And then the lady whose suitcase I'd taken realized that clearly our bags were quite similar. So she left mine in the airport and she figured out the return.
Oh my goodness.
I just got off a long flight. I was tired.
I think it's time for all of us to engrave our suitcases with our names.
No, honestly, I learned the hard way.
Air tags.
Losing my bags. Yeah, I didn't have my bag all summer last year.
Because these are things you hear happen to people and you're like, it's not going to happen to you.
It happened to me.
And when it happens to you,
you learn.
Travel hacks and then
beauty hacks.
Beauty hacks. Skincare is key. And I realized when your skin's great, everything else looks great. Like, whereas if your skin's not doing great, whatever makeup you put, it's not going to look fresh or great. Yeah, so that's my thing, skincare right now.
And how do you achieve skincare? Like, is it like, don't take your makeup off or take your makeup off?
Imagine, don't take your makeup off. No.
Don't drink a lot of water.
Definitely never sleep with makeup on. But to me, honestly, I would always try, brands would send all these things and I'd get excited and I'd try all these products. And I realized that actually simplicity is key. Like right now, I'm using a very basic skincare, a very basic serum. And I honestly think when you go down to basics, you just have less on your skin, less pore clogging products, less happening, and you can calm down.
So it takes the cakey look completely away.
Yeah, I feel like when your skin's glowy and hydrated, I just feel makeup sits better. And yeah, so now I just invest into skincare versus...
So lots of face masks and moisturizing and
yeah, like good products that work for you. Because I also learned what might work for you guys won't work for me, and that takes time to figure out what.
All my life I thought toners were useless. I just want to know, are they?
No, they're good.
They're good.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
they're good.
It's like the last wipe before you go to bed.
Okay,
yeah.
Last wipe.
Yeah.
Now I know how it works.
Okay, it is 9:08 on Wednesday morning, and we have just had a chat with Dubai's OG fashion influencer, who is Fashion Goals Talisman. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show this morning. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Bye.